The first impossible voicemail was left at 11:11 p.m. from an elevator with no phone service, inside a tower where the electricity had been cut for demolition. This is case file TR6062, reconstructed from tenant phones, fire department audio, and one answering machine recovered from apartment 14C of Blackwell Tower. Blackwell was built as public housing, converted to private rentals, condemned after a foundation shift, and emptied by court order. Officially, no one lived there after March. Unofficially, former tenants kept returning for mail, medicine, pets, and things they said the building would not let them take. The voicemail played the same opening for everyone. You have reached the elevator. Please select the floor where you left yourself. Then each recipient heard a different recording. A mother heard her missing son pressing buttons and laughing from below the basement. A retired teacher heard roll call from students who had died decades apart. A maintenance worker heard his own grieving inside the shaft, followed by a wet impact and a bell. The registry became involved when all former tenants received a final message at the same time. Going up. Firefighters entered at midnight. Their radios failed on floor 6. The paused cameras show the stairwell, repeating floors out of order. 3rd, 9th, 9th again. Basement. 14th. A hallway full of doors with elevator buttons beside each knob. When a 15th C that found an answering machine plugged into a dead wall. The tape inside was warm. It contained 96 minutes of elevator music interrupted by voices saying floor numbers that did not exist. The central witness was Lena Ortiz, last legal tenant of 14th C. She said the tower had always hated departures. Elevators skipped the lobby when someone moved out. Hallways lengthened around packed boxes. Children learned not to say goodbye inside the building. On demolition night, Lena returned for her father's ashes. The elevator doors opened in the lobby, though the power was dead. Inside stood every version of the tower's elevator panel. Brass buttons from the 70s, plastic buttons from the renovation, scratched metal buttons from after the fires. At the bottom was one button, labeled Home. She pressed 14. The elevator descended. Lena's phone recorded her last call. She describes passing floors through the closed doors, kitchens, nurseries, hospital rooms, eviction hearings, birthday parties, empty apartments, with carpets still marked by furniture. Blackwell was not moving through height. It was moving through occupancy. It had kept an impression of everyone who had ever lived inside it, and demolition was forcing those impressions to crowd into the shaft. When the doors opened, Lena saw 14C exactly as it had been when she was 7. Her father sat at the table, younger than she remembered, holding the urn that should have contained him. He told her the building had room if she stopped trying to leave. Registry agents cut power lines that were already dead. The elevator continued ringing. At 3:33 a.m., every phone within 3 blocks received one voicemail. The message was Lena's voice, calm and distant. If the elevator calls, let it go to voicemail. It can only keep what answers. Blackwell Tower was demolished at dawn. The elevator shaft remained standing for 9 minutes after the rest collapsed, a hollow concrete throat in the dust. Then, it rang once and folded inward. Today, the lot is a parking structure. Drivers report the elevator sometimes opens on level B2 to reveal a carpeted hallway with apartment numbers. If you enter, your phone loses service immediately, but your voicemail still works. The demolition crew refused to return after the shaft collapsed. Their foreman reported dreams of riding downward in an elevator packed with silent tenants who all faced the doors. No one touched him. No one spoke. But at every floor, the bell chimed and someone behind him got off wearing his childhood face. Registry analysts mapped the voicemails against old tenancy records and discovered a pattern. The elevator only contacted people who had left something behind. A photograph, a debt, an apology, a body never recovered from the fire in 1988. Blackwell Tower had become a machine for unfinished residents. It did not haunt people because they died there. It pursued them because some part of them still lived there, in a room they had stopped paying for. Lena Ortiz's recovered tape contains a section omitted from public files. After her warning, there are 30 seconds of silence, then the ding of an elevator reaching a floor. A child asks if they are allowed to go outside now. Lena answers, "Not through the lobby." The child asks why. Lena says, "Because the lobby belongs to the ones who left clean." No one knows what that means. 6 months after demolition, the parking structure elevator malfunctioned during a rainstorm. It carried a security guard to level 14, though the structure has only 5 levels. The doors opened onto a hallway, smelling of boiled cabbage, cigarette smoke, and fresh paint. At the far end, a woman stood beside apartment 14C, holding an urn. The guard recognized her from the missing person flyers. She asked him to take a message. He refused, which is why he survived. The elevator descended for 43 minutes before returning to the garage. The guard emerged with gray dust in his hair and a rent receipt dated 20 years in the future. On the back, written in Lena's handwriting, was a list of names. All belonged to people who would later park in the structure and report hearing elevator music from below their cars. The registry sealed levels B2 through B4 and installed stairs that go nowhere. It helped for a while. Then, residents in the apartment complex across the street began receiving package notifications for units inside Blackwell Tower. Couriers found no building, only the parking garage. But when they scanned the packages, delivery photos showed a carpeted hallway and a brass elevator door, polished like a mirror. The current containment order is to leave all misdelivered packages unopened in a locked room and play lobby music continuously at low volume. The sound seems to soothe whatever remains of the tower. When the music stops, phones begin to ring. The final documented voicemail came from Lena Ortiz at 11:11 p.m. on the anniversary of demolition. It was sent to every number in the registry field office. "You have reached the elevator. Please select the floor where you learned to leave." Then, behind her voice, hundreds of tenants whispered floor numbers in ascending order. They did not stop at 14. They did not stop at 100. The recording runs for 9 hours before an agent cuts power to the server. In the last audible second, the elevator bell rings. A calm, mechanical voice says, "Lobby," and every locked door in the field office opens at once.